is Gorith Landwalker, and it is the day before Thanksgiving. And despite that, we will be having our weekly stream of Star Trek Online. I hope you all are prepared for your Turkey Day, for those of you who are in the US. I hope that your travels were short. I hope that you're staying safe. I know that this Thanksgiving is going to be a little harder, perhaps, than it has been in previous years. But I hope that you and your families are all still well and remain that way throughout the holidays. Now, on with the show. In the previous several weeks now, Tellel has kind of put the main episode arc in pause mode, for lack of a better phrase. We've been doing some of the mission arcs that are no longer in the primary mission chain. So before the year officially kicks over from 2409 to 2410, we're going through those old missions, and we've done the Cold War arc, which featured the Breen and the discovery of the Preservers. We have done the Spectres arc, where we've not only stopped the threat of the Davidians, but also met some extremely famous Starfleet personnel from the 23rd century. But it's not over yet. There's one more featured arc to go through, plus there might be another mission or two that are kind of outside of arcs that we'll put into play. I don't think that's going to come into play today, however, because I'm pretty sure we'll be more than occupied. So let's beam in and find out where things are at. I closed out last time doing a endeavor where I would be able to receive an appropriate amount, perhaps, no, Tuvok, an appropriate amount of dilithium mining to finish an endeavor. Because the endeavors allowed me to take care of, well, reputation work, where I could continue to advance towards my Tier 4 reputation. So we'll fill that all. And according to this, I am... Oh, where am I? It requires 55,000 reputation. Oh, I'm clicking on the wrong one. 6,000 reputation. So theoretically, upon completion of this project, I should, and that's the key word here, should. Well, maybe not, because I got the rewards already. So it looks like I need literally 2 more Romulan marks. Well, those odds suck, especially when I look at the possible endeavors. But, you know what we're going to do? I have 2 reroll tokens. Now what this means is I can re-roll any of these endeavors to get something else. Something that might actually, help. I'm going to put a pin in that for now, however, because I see that one of them involves winning Gold Press Platinum playing Dabo at DS9. And as it turns out, this mission arc is going to take me to DS9. Although the really interesting thing is how they're going to make it work with the current layout of DS9. So this could be entertaining. And in fact, I would not be surprised if it... Well, we'll see. Any event, you'll see that the mission is not in the episode chain, but in the available chain. You'll see that I have replays for Spectres and Cold War. Also for Wasteland, but that was part of our Romulan arc. Now what we're going to do is the arc that is entitled Lost Dominion. Federation is hosting a conference at Deep Space Nine. They plan to discuss what to do about the Borg. I'd greatly like to know what their plans are concerning this menace, especially since the Dominion is going to participate. Huh. I don't remember that. Well, let's see what he has to say here.
The Federation is hosting a conference at Deep Space Nine. They plan to discuss what to do about the Borg. I'd greatly like to know what their plans are concerning this menace, especially since the Dominion is going to participate.
Wait a second.
A most unusual turn of events.
That doesn't sound like Kirik. That sounds like Jimpak of the Klingons. Come on, guys. I know you don't have this in your main arc anymore, but for God's sake, at least get the right voice talent on here, or don't put it in at all. Sheesh.
Greetings.
See, that's how he sounds. Man, this does not give me good feelings. We will auto-navigate. We're close enough to DS9 that I feel like using transwarp would be a waste. In the meantime, let's grab a couple of those other reputation rewards. I started doing the Dyson command stuff, and I can continue doing that. I should be able to unlock the next tier here as of tomorrow. Well, technically it'll be next week since, you know, I don't go on extra days. Counter command, however, we'll get back to you. Counter command is available, so we'll collect that reward, and that should allow me to claim tier 1 for that. So let's throw in my 5 marks and collect that reward. That opens up some new traits. We'll take a look at those momentarily. First though, one more daily that I will wipe out the rest of my Undeed marks. Hey, these things happen. Oh, I didn't fill all these. Boy, that was embarrassing. I could have logged in next time and discovered I didn't do any of this. I'd be feeling pretty stupid. It wouldn't be the first time. Okay, let's look at the traits again. I don't have any active reputations because, again, I'm unlikely to get to tier 4 in any of these reputations. My space reputations have gained nothing new. However, my ground reputations have, and they seem to be around the mind, which makes sense because counter command, 8472, Undine, mental attacks, yeah, makes sense. Increases damage when aiming, or increases control resistance and psionic damage resistance. All nice, all handy, but you know, I'm pretty happy where things are at. But it's nice to have the option available. Alright, let's begin with second wave.
By now, you've faced the Borg.
That's what we're
The collective is appearing with more frequency in the Alpha Quadrant now, and Defera is facing repeated attacks. We've been able to push them back so far, but we can't do it forever, not without help. Starfleet has convinced representatives from the Klingon Empire, the Cardassians, and the Deferi to meet on Deep Space Nine. We want you to be there as well.
Now see, there's no mention of the Dominion attending. Again, feels like there's a disconnect. Okay, rewards. Experience points. Again, a piddling amount compared to what is needed for the next specialization point. 120,000. It might be a little ways away. Got expertise, dilithia bore, and a group of nano-energy cells. However, they enhance Jemadar weapons. Okay, technically it also enhances ground weapons to do knockback and kinetic damage, but for Jemadar, apparently it has a bit more, dare I say it, kick. And this one will do shields, ignoring shields, and this one will do basically a toxic damage over time. Also, you get a choice of Jemadar weapons. Gee, This sure feels like foreshadowing, doesn't it? Okay, begin second wave. Now, this is going to be interesting because since this arc was more or less kicked off to the side, DS9 underwent a major revamp, and I'm curious to see if the maps we get are the old or new ones. And it's looking like the old ones, so we are seeing a step back in time. Probably another reason why they didn't bother, redoing any of this arc. Commander Andrews would like to see you in Ops as soon as you have time. Enjoy your stay, sir. So what you're looking at is Deep Space Nine as it used to be. Doesn't look a thing like the show, does it? I mean, it's got a vague resemblance, but for the most part, it's very different. Oops. I wanted to go to the operations, not to the upper level. Mildly embarrassing. Now, where's... Oh, standing right next to her. Sorry, Commander.
Unfortunately, we won't be able to begin the conference until Captain Kurland is available. I wonder, would you be willing to track down the other attendees and inform them of the delay?
Now here's
I
another
can
bug.
send a junior officer,
We've missed
but
a whole
I thought
page.
this way you'd get a chance to meet the delegates before formal talks begin. Every little bit of connection or information helps in a diplomatic situation.
Now, I am not even going to try to imitate the accent here because it would just be awful. So, I'm Commander Kieran Andrews, Captain Kurland's first officer. He asked me to inform you that he has been delayed dealing with an incident in Cargo Bay 3. Also, I must remind you that you are here as our guest. I don't expect any trouble, but it never hurts to remind someone about the rules. Our peoples have had a somewhat rocky past, but that doesn't mean we can't be civil to one another. I admire the steps your people have taken in the wake of such a disaster, and I hope we can work out our differences. And we've already heard this entire spiel from her, so meet the other conference delegates. And there are many. Head down to the promenade. Okay, stop number 1 looks like it's going to be around this corner here, where we're going to talk to a Cardassian. Oh, now see, this is new, and I find that interesting that they've gone through the effort of replacing the original ambassador from the Cardassians and put in Counselor Elam Garrick. We know this guy. At least anyone who's watched the series for Deep Space Nine knows him.
I'm looking forward to the conference. I'm sure the discussion on the Borg will be enlightening.
That said, he doesn't act
Your
as a
government's
jackass like
position
the
will be
previous
of
one, so...
particular interest to me. Clearly, the Borg are a major threat to the Quadrant. However, Cardassia's ability to assist in any action against them will be somewhat limited. If you will recall, we dismantled our military after the Dominion War. We still maintain a small force, but for planetary defense only. Any Cardassian military vessels you may have seen were undoubtedly stolen by the so-called True Way. Regrettably, Starfleet has yet to put a stop to their campaign of terror, though I'm sure they're giving it their best effort.
Yeah, well, we're going to be delaying in the conference until Kurland's ready.
I'm reminded of an associate of mine, Gul Mavek. He was stationed here during the Dominion occupation. During his time here, he developed a fondness for Bajoran distilled Kanar. Apparently, during the Cardassian occupation, the soldiers wanted their favorite libation, but there was not enough Kanar in the shipments from home. So these resourceful young officers conscripted a group of Bajorans, mostly from the religious houses, to distill Kanar for them. The Kanar from Bajor has a different color and flavor from Cardassian vintages. Purists frown on it, of course, but many Cardassians developed quite a taste for it while they were here. Needless to say, it is impossible to find it on Cardassia Prime. I was hoping to acquire some for Mavek before returning home, but I'm afraid the conference is demanding my attention. Perhaps you could be of assistance?
Now, Garrick is a lot more pleasant to deal with than the previous jerk who was in this arc back in the old days. You don't actually feel bad about helping him out as opposed to helping Garrick out as opposed to the previous occupant of that chair. So, sure, it's a submission. It's something to do. Why not? Now let's see. Map is showing yes. I have someone down here to speak with. So why don't we just hop on down? And this is, well, the place where you have the bank and the exchange and all that. Looks very different. Ooh, shiny. Must harvest. I am sadly predictable. And we're going to speak to the Klingon ambassador, Zatas. He sure looks like an ambassador, don't he? Let's get a good look at him. See how he smiles? Oh wait, that's just the way his teeth are naturally arranged. Never mind. Ooh, look. Someone wants me to be famous. Wow. I really do want to be famous. I do. Yeah, I'm lying. Come on, people. If I wanted to be famous, would I be streaming Star Trek Online? Come on. Let's chat with Zatas, shall we?
I was informed you would be here. Have you come with another friendly reminder from Commander Andrews? Feel free to report back to her and let her know that I haven't eaten the furniture or scared away the Dabo players. Not yet, anyway.
Now see, a Gorn with a sense of humor. I am right there behind that. Yeah, start of the conference has been delayed.
That is troubling. My ship is waiting to return to Kronos as soon as these talks are completed. I have no wish to linger here any longer than is necessary.
Yeah, well, you know, life is filled with all sorts of trouble. I'm sure you can handle it. You've got broad enough shoulders to bear the burden. Okay, looks like we have a number of things in this direction. Some of which will undoubtedly involve chatting with the assorted vendors. See if I can find that Kanar. I just ran past the guy I need to talk to, didn't I? Oh great, it's a Ferengi. Let's hope it's not him. You're looking for a hard-to-locate item? Why yes, do you have any Bajoran distilled Kanar? Hard to find, and those who prize it are even more rare. Given enough time, I am confident I can find some for you, for I do not have any currently. If you want me to contact my suppliers, please let me know. Well, that's a Ferengi, alright. Always looking for the sale. Now, you'll notice this door? This is Quark's bar. Yes, once upon a time, it was its own
What's the
instance.
harm in a little friendly wager?
Well, actually, yes, I would like to do a friendly wager. And the reason for that is, remember I was talking about the Dabo?
Spin the wheel and win.
We did a little bit of Dabo in the previous mission arc. Oh, bets have gotten bigger. Well, let's bet big, shall we? I feel kind of stupid because I should have laid more bets, but I wasn't sure how long I would have left to do any of this stuff. I was a complete loser there. Well, that stunk. Ooh, hiss. So now I'm going to bet even more because I'm insane. It's 300,000. Boy, it's a good thing I have that reserve of cash because it is going to go very fast. it's a good thing I don't put too much value in my energy credits. Now that worked out pretty well. I won 20,000, 10,000, and 10,000 Latin. Yeah, I think I'm done here. I have completed that endeavor. Accordingly, I've gotten an endeavor box. And the reason I wanted to do this one because I got 2 rewards. But none of them were mark boxes. So I'm going to quickly hop over to endeavors and I could re-roll this one, but let's do it. Phaser damage in space. Well, so much for that. It was worth a try. I'm not gonna re-roll that twice. That just seems dumb. And by dumb I mean unlikely to succeed. Let's see. Ambassador Sura. That's a bad bar patron. That's a civilian. Oh, there he is. Looks like he's playing Dabo too.
Hello again. I was so pleased when I heard that you would be attending the conference as well. Without your assistance, my people would have fallen to the breed. Now we are following your example and offering what assistance we can to help deal with the collective. I feel some sympathy for the Borg. Their quest for this so-called perfection has led them away from balance. But their victims, my people. The Borg must be stopped. I look forward to hearing your ideas of what to do.
You haven't run into any Bajorans in the Still Kanar, would you?
While I recently completed a diplomatic mission to Cardassia Prime, I must admit I never developed a taste for Kanar, and so didn't feel the need to take a bottle with me.
That's fair. Oh, no, we're not done yet.
Hello
I just want to let
again.
you know that he's been delayed.
I understand. I must find something to do with my free time. I had been hoping to spend some time in one of the holosuites here. Several people have recommended them, and there is an historical holoprogram, the Matara Nebula, that I have been eager to play.
Really?
Could you
Does
help
it
me
involve
gain access to
Genesis?
a holosuite? An hour or two would be more than sufficient.
I'll see what I can do. Keep ambassadors happy. Gotta talk to Hadron and Quarks. Well, there's Quark himself. There's Hadron. No, I wanted to talk to Hadron. I have a sneaking feeling that they put Hadron's dialogue over to Quark. Let's find out.
What can I get for it?
Do you carry Bajoran Distilled Kanar?
I have a long-standing rule about Kanar. I keep a case of every
Oh, this is
vintage
promising.
available, just in case the Cardassians try to take over. Again.
Subtle.
That being said, Cardassia isn't exactly on the warpath these days, so all that Kanar gathers dust in my storeroom. Bajoran distilled Kanar, though, that's rare. And expensive. Most of the distilling happened in the occupation. After the Cardassians left, there wasn't much of a market for Kanar, so the distillery shut down. I happen to have a lovely 60-year-old bottle of Bajoran distilled Kanar that survived a couple of wars. I'd be willing to part with it if you're willing to owe me a favor.
Well, I can see this is just going to become the great material continuum, as Nog used to say. Oh. How about that? You just gave it to me. Well, my day's improved. Now, let's see. Holosuite programs.
What can I get for you?
You reserve a holosuite for the Ferry Ambassador.
Sorry, I can't help you there. All of the holosuites are booked solid for the next week. I almost have more business than I can handle. Almost. Might be time to expand. Been thinking about a franchise operation for some time now. A Quarks in every sector.
I know the whole fact that I'm having to talk to Quark as opposed to Hadron is just another example of how they just haven't done proper text pass, story pass, whatever you want to call it, to make sure this stuff makes sense. And I guess the priority on this isn't so high because they took it out of the main episode chain. But if they went to the effort of putting Quark in here and doing all this dialogue, you would think it would behoove them to at least get some consistency.
The only way you're going to get a reservation for today is by traveling back in time 3 months and making one there. That was a joke.
Oh, I'm glad it was a joke, because I'll think
From what
about
I hear,
finding
you
the
were
Franklin
totally
Drake again.
fond of time travel. Don't get me started on what Starfleet thinks about it.
What if I find someone willing to give up their reservation? That's the
I
thought.
don't have any problem with that, as long as it doesn't make any problems for me. Understand? You bring Chief Rowe or Curlin in here asking about someone shaking people down for holosuite reservations, I won't hesitate to point out any suspicious characters I know about.
Gee, subtle threats. Alright, let's chat with bar patrons and see if I can get something out of them. Do you know this place sells the real deal? You can get synthahol if you want, but this stuff is great. Hey, you're just my type. Doing anything later? Do you have a reservation for the hall? You know, I don't want to say this. He's going to take this the wrong way. I know it. Aggressive R2. I do have one. I've already chosen the program, but I'm sure we can change it to something that's more fun for two. We'd like to get a drink or dinner beforehand. If I just meet you there, I want to share. It's not for sale, but if you change your mind, I might consider letting you join me. Then again, maybe not. You Romulan types are cause more trouble than you can solve. I am not a Romulan. Yes, I work for the Romulans, but I am not a Romulan myself. I tell you, life just ain't fair sometimes. I kind of doubt it, but hey, Morn. Okay, he doesn't have anything about the any of my quet missions here, so we're going to ignore him and talk to this part people. Go away, huh? Fine. You have a holosuite reservation? I need one. Got one? Okay, no, go away. I am having no luck here. People do not like me. Hey there, Command interests you in self-sealing stem bolts. Do you have a reservation for holosuites? I have a sneaky feeling I know where this is going. I do. I'm going to use the holosuite to help demonstrate all the wonders and qualities self-sealing stem bolts to a very important potential customer. Between you and me, those things are harder to move than you might think. I need your reservation. Are you interested in making a deal? I need to sell my entire inventory or my profits this month will be way off projections. That's why I reserved the holosuite. I need to make a great impression on this new customer. But if you bought all my stem bolts, I could cancel my meeting and catch the next shuttle out of here. Do we have a deal? Yeah, I don't have that many. I don't need that many, but I might be able to arrange a buyer. Deal. I'll be here until my meeting starts. If you find a buyer for my self-sealing stem bolts before then, I'll give you my holosuite reservation. Continuing the great material continuum. I think I've had... Oh, maybe not. Let's see. Is there anybody I can talk to? There might be someone over here. Or maybe not. Oh, I wonder if it's on the upper level. Or maybe I'm just giving the hint to just go outside. That's the problem with the instance
Sorry to
stuff.
trouble you again, but Captain Curlin is wrapping up the problem in the cargo bay, and we will be able to begin the talks very soon. I've notified
not
the other
ready yet.
attendees, but our opening speaker isn't responding to hails. Could you please track him down for me? Admiral Zavglach Trem mentioned wanting someplace quiet. You might try the upper promenade or the temple.
We're going to put a pin on that at the moment. First, I'm going to get this Kanar to Garrick so that I don't have to worry about that lingering over my... There we go.
I'm looking forward to the conference. I'm sure the discussion on the Borg will be enlightening.
Yeah, we've already gone through
If
this
you
dialogue.
recall, we dismantled our military after the Dominion War.
Now,
We still
you'll
maintain a
notice
small
that we
force,
have an
but
option
for
here about...
planetary
I learned a bit about the
defense
Kanar, won't get
only.
it for you, it's a
Cardassian
symbol of
military
oppression and
vessels you
insult to
may
the
have seen
Bajorans.
were undoubtedly stolen
And if
by
I had gone to the
so-called
temple to ask for this, they probably would have told me that. But I didn't, and I don't know, so...
Starfleet has yet.
Here's your Kanar.
Impressive. Authentic Bajoran Kanar is hard to come by, even here. You're quite a resourceful
I do kind of wonder how
individual.
Garrick would have reacted, though.
Thank you for your assistance.
He's not the kind of
At some
person to
point,
go off in
I
a
can
huff
assist
because
you
of
in
the
return.
whole
All you need to do is
harvested by Bajoran thing. But on the other hand, Garrick's hard to figure out. Okay, stem bolts. Well, I do seem to have something in this general direction. Oh, right, that's the temple. I don't want to do the temple. I really do not want to do the temple. Not yet. Let's talk to this merchant. Maybe he'll take stem bolts. Interested? No money in self-sealing stem bolts. But if I have a few cases of reverse routing hydrospanners, yeah, you know what? I'm already getting deep into this. I am not going there. Oh, is that this guy? No, looks like it would be more quarks. I'm not going to do that. But I do see that there is another one in the big room over this way. What could possibly be in this big room? Let's find out. Yes, this is what they used for the ship selection and all that back in the day. And look, Captain Vakel Shan, but not as we know him.
Greetings. I'm Captain Valkel Shan. I've heard a lot about you. It's good to finally meet.
See, this is why it's important to have these things happen in the main arc.
I'm glad there's someone else here who's faced the Borg in battle. We have a perspective the rest of these full-time diplomats don't.
Do you still need help
I
on your
appreciate
ship?
the offer. My crew could really use a few extra hands to get the work done. But if you need your officers to do something else, I understand. I'll talk to Commander Andrews to see if she has anyone who can help.
So we'll let some of my duty officers give the captain a hand. But we're not done with him yet.
Greetings. I'm glad there's someone
You
else
need
here who's
stem
faced
bolts.
the Borg. How many do you have? My chief
Yes.
engineer has been looking for stem bolts for weeks. He wants to do some upgrades to the Belfast, and the Defiant class has always been a little touchy. Sometimes it's best to use what works, even if the technology's a little out of date.
And here's another hint of the time and passage. Vakel is not an Enterprise captain yet. He is currently still the captain of the USS Belfast. So
We've
see,
made inquiries with several
that's important
traders,
too.
but everyone we talked to dumped their inventories after the speculation bubble burst. Some Ferengi out there made a small fortune a few months ago cornering the stem bolt market, but now that supply is gone. I was hoping to find some here, but so far I haven't had the chance. If you know of a source, my crew could make the upgrades we need without having to find an industrial replicator.
I think I can take care of that. Now we'll go back to quarks. Problem with this, there we go. These things are a obvious hazard as far as walking goes. You can see why they redesigned the space station. And this is actually, I think, the second redesign. There was a design before this.
Ooh, those ship holo emitters are pretty snazzy.
Let's see. Back here. Guess what, Czar? Did you find a buyer? Yes, I did. Fantastic news. I have the stem bolts sent to his ship immediately. If I catch the next shuttle, I'll be home in time for my daughter's birthday, and I'll tell Hadron, and again, that should be Quark, that my holosuite reservation is yours. Thanks again. So, backing up the chain. Quark. Holosuite reservation. Now.
Good for you. There is the small matter of the reservation transfer fee, however.
What transfer fee?
There is a minor fee associated with transferring a holosuite reservation. It's just enough to cover my administrative costs. 10,000 gold press latinum, payable immediately.
Yeah, I could pay it, but I'm not gonna.
Ooh, I can see you're a tough negotiator. And you do have a a paid reservation. I'll make you a deal to speed things up so you can go save Captain Proton, or whatever it is you need the holosuite for. 2,000 gold-pressed latinum. I'm losing money here, but I'll do it for you.
I'm gonna push him a little further.
You're killing me. All right. I'll give you the friends and family discount, but you owe me one, and I have every intention of collecting. 100 gold-pressed latinum. Final offer. I suggest you take it.
I'll take it.
Pleasure doing business with you. Enjoy yourself. Drop by any time you're on DS9.
Quark. Never change. Ambassador, your
Hello
reservation.
again. I was so pleased when I heard that you would be attending. Wonderful. Most of the holotechnology on Defera is used for training or utilitarian purposes, so I don't have many chances to use a holosuite for entertainment. Thank you for your assistance. I hope you didn't go through too much trouble on my account.
Yeah, let's not discuss that, shall we? Now, before we go see the last fellow there, let's see where things stand with my... Okay, we've got about a minute before all three of these are done. That takes care of my last optional assignment. Now, in all honesty, I'm not entirely sure I'm actually getting any real benefit from doing these optional assignments. I mean, they're just getting done, and that's that. It's not like they give me more XP at the end, although I will get the, you know, stuff that you come from for the duty officer missions. I'll get dilithium ore and expertise in tiny amounts. But of course it's going to be tiny because the missions themselves are pretty tiny. But you know, it doesn't kill me. And besides, he did take care of my stem bolt problem, so all things considered.
Thanks for your help. My ship is running like new again. You have an excellent crew.
Thank you, Captain. I look forward to working with you in the future, which I will because, you know, we've already done the Dyson arc, or most of it. Let's grab its rewards, so I don't have to worry about that later. And finally, let's check the temple to see if the ambassador is there. And wouldn't you know it, there he is. And he's a Tellarite.
My apologies, both to you and Commander Andrews. It's not often that I get some time to myself these days. Captain Kurland offered me the use of his office, but I came here instead for some peace and quiet. Peace. It's in far too short of supply these days.
I get that.
I've been in Starfleet for a long time. I've seen more battles than I care to remember. But this one, there's no reasoning with the Borg. There's no chance for a non-violent solution. I only hope that we can unite before they come for us. No one is safe.
Yeah, that's a little bit of pressing news, isn't it? Now, you know, I was kind of curious to see if, since they had the temple here, since they've done all sorts of other stuff here, I was wondering if Kira Nerys would be here as Kai, but I guess he's on Bajor doing Kai stuff. In any event, we have done all of the submissions, and it's time to go to the conference. Welcome. Please take a seat so we can get started. And here we go.
Welcome, everyone. I'm so pleased that you all agreed to join us here today. As many of you are all too aware, the Borg attacks are increasing. If they are left unchecked, Starfleet predicts that the entire Alpha Quadrant could fall within 3 years. We all must work together to push these invaders out of our space and protect our homes and families.
I do not agree. My empire will stand, with or without your assistance. The Klingon Empire has never been stronger than it is right now. I dare the Borg to challenge us. Starfleet may cower in fear before a bunch of machines, but we do not.
If the Borg assimilate everyone in the
ambassador
quadrant,
from the Klingon
the
Empire.
Okay, we seem to have a little bit of an issue here with sound.
Crippled by our
It looks like they have the old and the new
we will
one
be no match for
talking
a
over each other.
Klingon fleet. I
How
do
does the
not
proverb
want
go?
to be assimilated, but I don't
Yes.
want to be a
The
servant
wind
to the Klingon
does
Empire
not
either.
respect a fool.
The Deferi believe that all things must be in balance. We cannot counter the Borg threat if we ourselves are counter to one another. The Deferi do not wish to act against any of you. Therefore, should this meeting not reach a consensus, our best course of action is to not act at all.
Starfleet will do what it must to protect the Federation. However, if you want our assistance, you need to be willing to protect yourselves and contribute to this campaign. The Borg will be stronger if any of your civilizations are assimilated. Starfleet's hard at work developing new technology and tactics. We, at least, will be ready. And if we can't cooperate, I hope you don't suffer. And that we develop new weapons in time.
This is getting us nowhere. We came together in the spirit of cooperation. We need to find common ground.
It occurs to me that I'm the only representative of the Romulan Republic in the room.
Now, did you have something you wanted to add to this discussion?
I see I don't have the answer option to saying, no, I'm good, fight it out among yourselves. No, it looks like that I've got to be the peacemaker. Let's start with the hard one. Ambassador Satas. The Klingons would be foolish to ignore
Be
this fight.
careful. You are dangerously close to insulting the honor of the Klingon Empire.
Now you can see I have a diplomacy option, and that came up because I have rank 1 in diplomacy. So that actually gives me an extra option here that can make the choices smoother. I wouldn't see this option ordinarily, I think. I would just see these two. And, well, honestly, they both suck, honestly. But without your help, every civilization represented here could fall to the Borg. That would make the Borg even stronger. Ha! Starfleet won't survive without our assistance. It is good then that we see merit in fighting at your side in this instance. It would not be honorable for us to reserve our strength while others go out to fight. That is a trick worthy of, well, someone of your pointy-eared persuasion. I'm hurt. I'm really hurt. For one thing, and I may have said this once or twice before, I'm not a Romulan. And second, okay, my ears are a little pointy, so that is really rude.
Now, did you have something you wanted to add to this discussion?
Now here we go. Here's another problem with Bounce Pass. Ambassador Skill, who has been replaced by Counselor Garrick. Cardassia will be weakened if your government does not participate in this accord.
Cardassia Prime is still rebuilding from
The good
the
news is
Dominion
at least
War.
he's
We've achieved a great deal, but there is still much more to do. The continued threat of the true way makes progress difficult. Simply put, draining Cardassia's
apparently I don't
limited
have
resources
diplomacy
to
option
fight
on
the
this
Borg
one.
will be a hard sell to the Detapa Council.
Perhaps if I had 4 ranks of diplomacy, it would be basically knocking down an incremental counter, so I would imagine that I don't have diplomacy available for the other ones as well. Just a guess. I can't remember, it's been a long time. But what about your people? What will happen to them if the Borg invade Cardassia Prime?
We will protect our home world until the very end. Never think otherwise. Believe me, we understand the threat of the Borg. We just don't have the resources of the Federation or the Klingons. Even the Republic is in a better state in that regard. Defending Cardassia is not only our first option, it is our only viable option.
Garrick, without the help of the Cardassians, we will all be looking for new homes, and even those will not be safe from the Borg.
There is a certain wisdom in forming a unified force here. And Cardassia has other assets to lend to the effort besides brute force. Intelligence gathering, for example.
He would know.
Now, I just need to convince the Detapa Council, which is far easier said than done. I might have better luck fighting a Borg cube by myself.
Now, did you have something you wanted to add to this discussion?
Okay, this gets a little easier because now we gotta start dealing with some of the more reasonable people.
Maintaining balance with all things must be our primary concern.
Okay, this one's rough. One option is this isn't about balance, which is something that goes against the ambassador completely. And the other one is talking about war on the doorstep. You waste time talking about balance, which feels stupid. We'll go with option one. This isn't about balance. This is about stopping the Borg before they assimilate our worlds.
My world is one of those at risk, but I cannot reject balance, even to save my home and people. The universe uses conflict to restore the balance when we move too far out of equilibrium. The Borg advance, as painful as it may be, is simply another adjustment.
Okay, looks like we might have gotten good through here. The Borg do not seek balance. Instead of incorporating a person into their collective, they dominate, wiping away any traces of who the person once was. This furthers the imbalance.
It is one thing to choose to swim upstream against the current. It is quite another to drain the river because it is flowing in the wrong direction. The Borg do not respect the balance. We will offer what support we can to your fight.
Okay, and that brings us to...
Did you have something you wanted to add to
hopefully
this
the
discussion?
simplest individual. Because, hey, they're the good guys.
Starfleet will do everything we can to protect the Federation and its allies. However, there are too many drains on our resources and a limited number of ships and officers. It may be simply unfeasible for us to sign on to be the protector of the entire Alpha Quadrant.
As you can tell, he's
we need
pretty
to consider
hardcore
the
back in
Prime
the day.
Directive. There are limits to what we can do.
Yeah, wasn't mutual protection one of the tenets on which the Federation was founded? You see, I was paying attention to that orientation pack y'all gave me when I signed on with the help out Starfleet as a member of the Republic.
Under dire circumstances, Starfleet may be forced to pull back from protecting all life to a position where we can defend only the core worlds. I hope it doesn't come to that. If it does, however, the needs of the many must outweigh the needs of the few.
Yeah, you know, the Borg are a bigger threat than any one of us can handle on our own. We need to work together.
Starfleet recognizes the Borg threaten all life in the Alpha Quadrant. We've lost too much already. We cannot lose anymore. Eventually, we'll all need to put our differences aside and unite in opposition to the Borg or anyone else who sows chaos and destruction. We'll put an end to this together.
Let's take a
Finally.
quick recess to cool off. And that's funny. I don't remember anyone being scheduled to fly through the wormhole today.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, that's a lot of ships. That's a whole lot of ships. That is a whole
There's
lot of
something
ships.
coming out of the wormhole. Captain, it's a Dominion fleet. They're charging weapons.
Oh, that ain't good.
Red alert!
What was Quark saying about the next time the station gets occupied?
Jem'Hadar boarding the station. Get the delegates out of here.
We have to get out of here!
Oh, that's a problem.
It
Yeah,
is
you get him.
time to leave.
Shouldn't he have fallen down?
Evac Protocol Alpha. Andrews, get everyone to shuttles. Prep the Defiant for launch. Blast it. The Jem'Hadar have cut off access to ops. Karen, you'll need to coordinate the evacuation.
reminds me.
We'll get the delegates to the docking ring, and then I'll try to join you in ops.
Ghost-busting weapons are probably not the weapons to use right now. Where's my sniper rifle? Okay, so what was I using before I put on Who You Gonna Call? I might have been using that. Didn't think I was, but... Well, clearly I need to use something better than what I'm using now. Or, I can see if I have anything in my new equipment list. Console... Protonic weapon. Well, that's doable. What about these other guys? Pistol? No. Dual cannons? No. No. Well, gee, I was hoping for something decent out of these things. That just needs counter command. I'm not entirely sure I'm going to get anything useful out of these, but I might. Full auto assault rifle. What does that do? I was hoping for something with an exploit attack, but it looks like I'm going to be nothing but exposes. Therefore, I really don't see any great benefit to anything other than the protons. Although this one has knockback. Knockback could be useful. We'll use that one. That said, I'm still going to be using a pistol because people don't carry rifles to a conference. The things I do to indulge my roleplay nature. Okay. We gotta get out of here. We gotta get out of here now. Alright. Things are a little rough right now. Can I get a hold of Ops? Oh, welcome to GS9. Thank you. We already got that. I guess they never found a way to get rid of that. Okay, there's something over here. Maybe I can make use of it. Take weapon. Tactical. Well, I'm not tactical, so I can't do anything about that. Engineering. Override door controls. That I can do. Get security out there. That means I have backup. Is there anything I can use in here? No? I didn't think so. Okay, time to fight the Demodar. First things first. Get the drones. And there goes the task, going for the kill. Oh, being attacked on the other direction. Thank God for drones. And we've got them shrouding. The Demodar have always been able to self-cloak. Is there anything this way that would be useful? Maybe not. Oops, I'm being attacked from above. Okay, so much for that. I can't do the heal security officer or armed diplomat, so it's basically up to me and the security guard that came along. Up. There's more Demodar, but unfortunately they seem to have shrouded. Let's see if the quantum mortar can see them. For that matter, let's see if the plasma turrets can see. Oh, there we are, we're back. I love how Satas just goes in there to whack them. Keep an eye on above. Make sure I'm still being followed. Oh, there's more Demodar. It'll be interesting to see if they ever decide to redo this set of missions, which I kind of doubt they ever will. See how they would get it to work with the current DS9 map. Oh, we missed one. But luckily, security officers' tasks are more than up to the challenge. Oh, there's a couple guys up at the top. Let's pop them a good one. Man, I was hoping my telekinesis could knock him over. That would have been so cool. More Temidar. Oops. Yeah, they throw those invisible mines. Houdini mines, they were called during the Dominion War. Oh, yay, Catcher Cell White. That's just what I need to help me out. Fire? More fire? Now, there used to be stuff you could do down here that would help you out. It's possible they removed that from the game because they do stuff like that. Can I get across this? No, it's a force field. I can't get across that fire. I should have known that. And I can't use that. Oh wait, I don't have to. And actually, I might be thinking of a different mission. Alright. Mortar. Drone. Drone. Turret. And my indoor nuke. Here, let me scan this while I'm waiting for Epic Fire to hit me. Yes, in the middle of a firefight, and I cannot resist grabbing the goods. Temidar Elder, that must be the guy in charge. Captain, we need you back on the ship. We'll hold position here as long as we can when the Temidar fleet is approaching the station. Okay, we've got everybody here, so we are going to board the ship. And now we can expect entertainment. Kind of entertainment that comes with a freaking Jem'Hadar fleet knocking at the door. What, guys? You want the Alpha Jem'Hadar back? I mean, we talked with them already. We left them alone. I don't know what the problem is. But since I'm here, and since I seem to have some scannables right by me, yes, there could be a massive attack on DS9, but I still cannot resist taking stuff. Alright, go into tactical mode, start moving, and let's see what the damage looks like. Yeah, it's every bit as bad as I thought. Okay, let's start with a whacking. Good news. Oops, maybe not so good. For a minute there I thought we'd cleaned him out already. I should have realized it would be more difficult than that. I don't know why I bothered trying to use that ability. It never does anything. It doesn't really damage the opponent. All it does is get rid of singularity charges. Alright, that volley worked out. Of course, my shield's taking a bit of a whooping. Ooh. TS9 defending itself nicely. Okay. Where are the rest of the bad guys? Oh. They did. There's a hole in the Scimitar front line. Coordinating the shuttles to set a course and make their escape, but we need to protect them. And they're all the way in the other direction. That's annoying as anything, really. And my battle cloak isn't working, which is also annoying. I am going to have my hind end blown to bits here. Come on. Battle cloak is the big thing here. Tell me why my battle cloak did not work. Grrr. Alright, Belfast is taking out this guy. And that he's not going to last long there at all, is he? Stand ready to assist. I'm glad somebody does. USS Opaka. That's our next contender. Opaka's in good shape. That's good. Jemadar. Not so good shape. That is also good. Go back to tactical mode. Oops. Looks like you got a little bit of reinforcements here. You want to play with tractor beams? Let's play with tractor beams. Whoa. I need to re-examine what shields I'm using right now because they are definitely being beaten up horribly. Or maybe it's just that they're tough because it seems my weapons are having trouble too. Ready to assist. Awesome. Fletcher is next. Unfortunately, it looks like Fletcher is in serious trouble. Like, it looks like it's going to blow up before I get there. Try to get some heals in for them. Try to help them out as best I can, but yeah, I have a feeling it's not going to fly. There are too many bad guys around. There's only one of me. And why are my abilities not firing? I had a recharge ability there, and nothing happened. Oh, this mission is not making me happy at all. I got screwed out of that save. I am not happy about that. Well, there's no point in sticking with that fight with Fletcher gone. I might as well see if I can do anything about Finda. Let's get some backup here. Since I'm having my hind end waxed repeatedly here. And while we're on the subject, let's get lots more reinforcements. I think we saved them. Either that or No idea. Actually, I don't see the ship anymore, so I'm guessing that they blew it up. Oh well. 50% is not the worst numbers. They're not great numbers, but I am irritated at abilities that would not fire off, which may or may not have made a difference in this fight. So I am a tad annoyed. I do find it kind of ironic that I'm having more trouble in space than I am in ground, which is usually the exact opposite of my gameplay.
Captain Curland, good to know that you and the delegates are safe.
Not all of them.
Jem'Hadar has stormed the station and we're losing critical areas. The Defiant has launched and I've evacuated everyone possible, but a few of us stayed to...
Andrews?
Alas, Commander Andrews, we hardly knew you.
Someone, answer me! What's going on?
Captain, my name is Loris, and I represent the Dominion. This station, and all remaining souls on it, are now under our control.
Dun dun dun. Captain, there's nothing more we can do but see our guest to safety. I've been in contact with Starfleet, and they would like us to report to Bajor. Planning for a counteroffensive is underway, but for today, the station belongs to the Jem'Hadar. It is our duty to ensure that Bajor does not fall as well. We have had better days. Okay, we will regroup, recover, and retake what is ours. The fleet is retreating to Bajor space to protect the planet in case the Jem'Hadar decide to push their advantage. Captain Kurland is in contact with Starfleet Command, and we will be routing all available ships to this region. We defeated them once. We can do it again. Man, someone didn't read our history. There were few advantages that we had at the time. Okay, well, I was griping about weaponry earlier. I think I'm still going to be griping. I have an exposed weapon, but the exposed weapon is a beam pistol, not a rifle. Oh, you know what? I'm good with that. What I'll do is I'll take the pistol here, and now I have a expose and an exploit weapon, which is always helpful. And since I'm here, I'm going to take a look at those personal ground traits, and I'm going to see if I have rifle training on here, because if I do, I don't need it right now because both my weapons are pistols. So it comes down to what would be interesting to take instead. Soldier is tempting. Natural immunities, mental discipline. That'll be handy for the future. The Undine are, after all, knocking at the door. So we'll go ahead and get that on the belt. Oops, that was not what I wanted to close out. Let's go back here and see if I can find... There we go.
We've evacuated everyone we could to Bajor, and we're setting up a base there to coordinate our counterattack against the Dominion. I won't lie to you, though. It's not gonna be easy. We were caught completely off guard by Karakhan and his fleet. And
How
the
do we know
Bajorans
who
are
he
none
is?
too pleased to have house guests.
Loris is who we know.
We must balance the needs of the civilian populace with those of the Starfleet and Klingon forces currently on the surface. Starfleet needs all the help it can get planet-side right now. Transport down to our staging area on Bajor. You'll find me there. Captain Kurland will join us as soon as he can.
Okay, rewards. Standard trio. Plus, one of the following. Portable shroud generators. Apparently usable even for people who aren't Jem'Hadar. But since we're talking about Jem'Hadar, Jem'Hadar body armor. which are conveniently a part of a set. Of course, the set required me to have the full auto rifle that I passed up during the last set of rewards. So unless I think it's really awesome, I think I'll pass on that. And finally, career-specific Mark 11 kit reward. I hate all the choices. It looks like that the Shroud stuff might be the way to go here. So, step 1 is to go to Bajor Hathen. If that sounds familiar, it should, because we were there before. Of course, we've been there on 2 different versions. Our version and the Mirror Universe version. Welcome to the city of Hathen. Commander Messia Sheev asked me to inform her when you had arrived. She's waiting for you in her office at the Starfleet base. I'll add the coordinates to your map. Now you see I've been down here on my own, so it's all on me. This is, incidentally, the reason the city exists. From a programming standpoint. When they did this story arc, that's when they introduced this world. It got folded into the main storyline with the Mirror Universe and all that much later. And boy, look at all the stuff going on here. Being a meddler.
How can I assist you today?
What do you do?
I don't even know if I'm supposed to be talking to you, but I always wanted to join Starfleet, so this is my first week on the job. I was expecting to get months more training, but Colonel Kuba says he needs every militia member on the streets. I thought this was going to be a great job. I get to help my friends and neighbors and serve the community. But now, with the Klingons here, they're so angry, and I don't want to die.
Yeah, things are kind of rough here, it looks like. I sort of want to beat the tar to the Klingons, but you know, I guess that would be rude. And we've got a gardener here.
Hello there, friend. I get my hands dirty for the good of Bajor. We have a full-time botanist on staff here, but I'm the one who helps translate the science into practical applications farmers in this region can use to improve their crops. I've loved green and growing things since I was a child. Some of my earliest memories are of helping my grandmother in the garden, as she taught me the names of all the plants and how to care for them. No matter how much Bajor advances, it will always be a world that respects and values its forests and farms. We live in harmony with our world, just as the prophets intended.
As much as I would really like to chat with every single one of these individuals, we do have an emergency to deal with, so I am going to have to bypass most of them and work my way to my destination. And that's the very, very tiny circle over here. Looks a lot more impressive on the mini-map, really. And oh, what's this? We got quest people here, too. We'll get to that in a minute. Priorities, priorities, priorities. Now you see we have ship and shuttle requisition, selection, and another ship and shuttle requisition. Clearly it's designed to deal with little details like factions. And we have someone over here. Let's talk to this cadet. Oh. Okay, that's where they did this. Okay, there used to be a bunch of diplomacy missions in the game. Well, not a bunch, but there was a number of them. And this is one of them. It's not a part of the whole thing on Bajor, so I'm kind of going to bypass it for now. Must deal with priorities. And the commander here is the priority.
Time is short.
See? I told you. Welcome to Bajor. This will serve as our base of operations while we work to retake DS9. I need you to give me your best here. Everyone needs to be in top shape for the counterattack on DS9. Before that can happen, we need to make sure this base is fully operational. We're guests here on Bajor, but the locals don't view us that way. I thought Bajor joining the Federation would be a step in the right direction. The Bajorans in this city seem to think this is the second coming of the Cardassian occupation. Be on your best behavior and try to do all you can to smooth some of the ruffled feathers. The civilian uprising is a headache I don't need. I'll have something for you later. Report to Lieutenant Jarella Cav first. She'll know what tasks are most critical. Alright. I can follow simple instructions. And look, they even have the Federation logo up here so you know where to go. Hi there!
How can I help you?
Great to see you. We can use all the help we can get here. The attack on DS9 has put everything here into a tailspin. We're setting up a base to coordinate the campaign to take the station back, but it's slow going. This area of the city is older, and it doesn't have the infrastructure we need. Good thing we have talented officers like you who know how to whip up a few technical miracles. Oh, I am an engineer. I do technical miracles.
Do you need something?
Now, I have a couple options here. And the choice I make means I won't be able to choose the other one. At least I'm pretty sure that's the way it works out. I can do the Starfleet option of aggressive assimilation, but my heart is not with Starfleet, it is with the Republic. So we are going to take the engineering possibility here. Required renovations. We've cobbled together a base here faster than I expected, but we had to use whatever equipment was on hand. Starfleet is sending supply ships out, but that will take time. Until then, we'll have to do the best we can. A lot of this equipment is old or outdated, and we're experiencing a significant number of malfunctions. What I could really use is an engineer who's handy with a hyperspanner to make repairs. Think you're up to the task? You bet I am. Yeah, see, you have a couple options here. Yeah, if I were KDF, I'd have an option. Science, an option. Tactical, an option.
I'm here to help.
Oh, what do you know? I could actually take the Starfleet one. But since I only need to do this one, that's the way it's gonna fly. And we seem to have a number of possibilities just in this area, so let's walk around and see what I can find. Ooh, a busted holodeck. Okay, outside. Oh, broken desk. How'd I miss that going in? Okay, there's a bit more to this than meets the eye. Oh, I can see things breaking over here. Chief Engineering Officer to repair ship damage if you do difficulties higher than normal. Oh, two more. Not in there. Not over here. Well, what a puzzle this is. Clearly there's more to be done here. We seem to be hinting there's something else in the holodeck room. What? It broke again? I just fixed it. I swear that. And it's another broken desk. Now you're probably wondering why this might have worked out this way. This instance is a social map as well, which means I'm not the only player on this map. It's just like DS9 under normal circumstances, or Earth Space Dock, or Vulcan, or what have you. So, and other players can be here, and they can be doing the same mission, and were back in the day when this was part of the episode chain. So it makes sense that you'd see things breaking and re-breaking, because they would have to deal with the possibility of multiple players doing the same mission at the same time. Okay, I still have a couple other problems to deal with. Infirmary. Oh, this looks more like the temple than the infirmary. Oh, this is probably Starfleet Command. Yep, Starfleet Command, and we got a broken thing over here. What else you got? Oh, that's a good question. What else do they got? Looks like it's going to be repairing the same two things over and over. Or maybe the same one. Sheesh. Here we go. And that leaves the infirmary. And the infirmary is south. Like, way south. This is really a healthy-sized map. And we've got injured people there. Big shock. Chief medical officer. But what I don't see is anything busted. Maybe in here. Oh, there we go. Medical library. That's important. Didn't fix it right the first time. Okay, let's see what else busted when I wasn't looking. Oh, looks like I see sparks over in here. Scanner. Alright. Oh, that's talking with the CMO again. Library console. Is it too much to ask for things to get fixed and stay fixed? I'm guessing the answer is yes. But engineering training has paid off. I've gained the accolade Base Builder. So, yay. And I can report success to the lieutenant. Thanks, everything is working perfectly now. It will take a lot of good engineers to complete our mission here.
I'm here to help.
Now we have another pair of possibilities. Studying soldiers or contemplating captains. We have several holodeck training programs developed for the Advanced Tactical Training Program as an introduction to ground combat against Dominion opponents. This one will put you against a changeling. It's unclear whether there is a changeling with the Dominion forces on DS9, but it's always a good idea to be prepared. You can use the holodeck here to run the program. And remember, we have a lot that needs to be done here on Bajor, so choose the combat training program that suits your needs the best. Don't spend all day in the holodeck. Well, you know what?
I'm here to help.
I think we're going to find more Jemadar than we are changelings. Same thing here. This one will pit you against Jemadar. I know you were in the battle on DS9, but it's always good to be prepared. And, you know, same stuff here.
I'm here to help.
We are going to go against the Jemadar because I really honestly believe we're going to fight more Jemadar than we're going to fight changelings. Load combat training. Jemadar. Technician, you probably don't want to be here. Unfortunately, this was done well before they did the tech where it would actually change the instance around you, so we actually have a loading screen. It happens. We deal. But it also means that we got to deal with the painfully slow loading screen. And it's not that difficult a map. Okay. Defeat first wave of Jemadar. We have no idea what direction they're coming in, so we're just going to... Oh, well, we know now. I'm going to swap to my exposed weapon, my newly acquired Jemadar toy, and we're going to drop a nuke on the front line. Let's see. What am I missing? Oh yeah. Plasma burst turrets. Oh, there's a new grouping. Oh yes, I would be remiss if I did not get my drones as well. I love using telekinesis. Grab. Grab. Go back. Oops, they're coming in from the other direction now. Come on, get a little closer. There we go. Well, this fight is going well. So far. Oh, goody, Ketracel White. I was hoping to grab something that, you know, wasn't Ketracel. I mean, if I were a Demodar, it'd be one thing. But Shakaruni of all Shakarunis, I'm not a Demodar. Alright, we've wiped out all the Demodar attackers. We can end the simulation. Now the holodeck, and back to Lieutenant. I bet you feel like you can take on the entire Dominion right now. Holodeck exercises aren't like real combat, but anything that will help us prepare is important.
I'm here to help.
Scrutinizing starships or fleet findings. We have developed several holodeck training programs. Yeah, we've done that. This one's for the space combat. Hit you against small Demodar ships ranging from fighters to cruisers. I know you're in the Battle of DS9, but we're going to be facing more Demodar before we retake the station, and you need to be ready for them. What's the other option?
I'm here to help.
Large ships, from cruisers to a dreadnought. Now, I can believe we'll fight these guys, so... Fighting a changeling is iffy because, you know, changelings are not frontline fighters. But cap ships, I can see fighting cap ships. So, again with the painfully, agonizingly slow loading map with a progress bar that moves like Captain Kirk talks. Yeah, I'm bad. I'm a horrible person sometimes. Alright. We're going up against the big boys, and given how poorly we performed against the attack last time around, every bit of practice is good. Well, the good news is their shields are mush. The bad news is, so are mine. That worked well. Still, my ship is taking a beating. Okay, oh, that's not good. Yeah, I was hoping that those torpedoes were not being fired. Miracle Worker active. And that takes care of the escort. Next on the list, battleships. But the good news is, I get backup for this guy. Let's make life a little more interesting for him, shall we? Let's hit him with a power drain singularity. We're also going to try to hit him with some boarding parties. Battleship's tough, but having a second ship helping me out is really a good thing, even if it's an escort and not, say, a cruiser, which tank a bit more. What is it over? Oh, looks like the enemy is sending their own boarding shuttles. Such a sneaky tactic. I'm amazed I didn't think of it myself. Oh wait, I did. Alright, the battleship is almost done. Stick a fork in them. Ah! Lock boxes. Okay, now the Dreadnought, and this is going to be the rough one. But the good news is, there are lots of Starfleet vessels showing up for this fight. So we're going to unleash everything we can, including going out of tactical and hitting them with the shield break ability. Okay, let's see. I think we'll do another singularity jump right here. And we'll throw my boarding shuttles at them. Clearly he's got enough engine power to move. Let's go back to tactical, shall we? Increase our power. Call up some reinforcements. And with overwhelming firepower on our side, we should be able to put an end to the threat of this Dreadnought. Well, in simulation, of course. It's quite possible that it might be a little more difficult outside of simulation. And there goes the Dreadnought. Oops! Okay, in a real combat situation, don't hang so close to an exploding Dreadnought. Lesson learned. Let's leave the simulation. We got what we wanted. Alright, Lieutenant. Excellent. Someday I might switch to the command track and try to become a ship commander myself. Until then, the holodeck is enough for me.
I'm here. Do you need something?
Thanks to you, we have everything under control here at the base. You should head out into the city and help the Bajorans. Colonel Kubus Pole of the militia has been asking for assistance. Find him and he should be able to point you in the right direction. We couldn't have done this without you.
I'm here to help.
Now, if you're getting the impression that this is less a single mission and more a series of small missions, well, what can I say? You're absolutely right. In a way, you could almost say that Hathen was the first adventure zone, even though it's not billed as one. And since it's kind of tied to the story arc, it's not a whole lot that you can do. I mean, you can repeat through the mission replay and all that, but it's not an evergreen sort of thing, shall we say.
We have a situation here.
Ah, Mr. Gruff. Welcome to Bajor. I wish your visit here could be under better circumstances. This whole DS9 situation troubles me, and having Starfleet here on Bajor has opened up some old wounds. And letting the Klingons come down too? That stuff's like dropping a plasma torch into a deuterium tank. What we need to do now is convince people that they're safe and that we have this situation under control. What's your role here?
Back in my day, things were different.
Yes, thank you. Now that Bajor is part of the Federation, my job is to keep the peace here. That's harder with Starfleet and the KDF planetside. There are still Bajorans who remember the occupation. I grew up in a refugee camp, and I have friends and family who don't like the idea of any outside organization establishing a base on Bajor. friend, or foe. The Federation respects that. For the most part, Kurland has kept his people on DS9. That's fine with me. The militia is more than willing to leave anything that happens off-world to Starfleet. But now, you're here in my city. That means you're my problem. So why are people upset?
Peace and quiet. That's what we need.
What a dream. Our world has changed more in the past 50 years than it did in the 500 years before it. The end of the occupation, the return of the emissary, the Dominion War, joining the Federation, the Undine, the war with the Klingons. Bajor is a different planet now. Some would say it has changed too much. So we can either do religious requirements or occupation overreaction. Let's see what the overreaction has to say. There are a lot of people here who aren't happy about Starfleet establishing a base here and allowing the KDF to stay as well. Bajorans have always been touchy about outsiders, and the occupation and the Dominion War just made that worse. Now, with Temodar and DS9, and you all here on the ground, those old fears are coming back to the surface. There's a protester by the fountain stirring up the crowd. We'll have a riot on our hands if we don't put a stop to it. Talk to him. Don't violate his right to free speech and assembly, but maybe you can convince him that Starfleet isn't the return of the Cardassians. Well, we can do that. Granted, I'll be speaking for Starfleet, and I'm not exactly Starfleet. Hey, things just happen sometimes, you know? Well, since we have access to the bank, let me see if there's anything I want to put in the bank that I can get out of my hair. I would like to save the disruptor rifle as a memento from the Romulan arc way back when. I don't need Ghostbusters. I don't need Type 2 phaser of the old days. Nor do I need the original series phaser, although I'm keeping them because, you know, they were rewards that I value. I have no idea when or if I'm going to use these nano energy things, so I'm going to put them in here. And that may well be it. That may well be it. I think everything else is going to be... Oh, yeah, the transphasic cluster torpedo from the Marine. And that may well be it. Yeah, don't need that. I think everything else here is more or less sellable. We are going to get rid of these Angels of Waif boxes because I want nothing to do with them. But I am going to save those Infinity boxes because they might be useful someday because they have a whole bunch of possible things to open if you get a big prize. And I can see a time where I decide, the heck with it, let's grab some keys and be done with it. Speaking of keys, they can be acquired on the exchange. But as you can see, they also tend to go for significant amounts. Looks like going price right now is 8 million. I have 2 million. The likelihood of me seeing 8 million is not high, especially since I don't really play the market. And the stuff that sells for the most on here are the stuff that comes from lockboxes. But I want you to point out that it is possible to buy those keys without spending Zen on them, which is basically the real money intermediate value and how they get around gambling laws. Alright, let's have a chat with a rabble-rouser.
This is our home!
The Bajoran people will not stand for another hostile occupation. The Cardassians did enough damage to our world. We deserve peace, prosperity, and the right to govern ourselves. Yeah, Starfleet doesn't actually want to occupy your planet. So you say. Prove you don't intend to occupy this planet. Okay, well, let's go from a top-down method, shall we? Bajor has a rich cultural heritage.
Bajor for Bajorans!
The first thing the Cardassians did during the occupation was pry and remove all sense of our cultural identity. When the Cardassians came, our artists and entertainers were forced to work as slaves. The rural way of life that had sustained us for countless generations was destroyed with our farmers. And when the Dajara caste system was abolished, our society was left in a disaster. Artists became soldiers. Soldiers turned into farmers and bakers. We lost knowledge that had been handed down for generations. And the people were left to struggle through life as best they could. This was a toughie. I don't want to do the last one because that just feels like slapping him in the face for his beliefs. I don't want to monkey with that. So it comes down to artistic desires or a thriving soil reclamation effort. We'll go with the soil reclamation effort. That will repair most of the farmland damaged in the occupation. Technically correct, but I think you're missing the bigger picture. Okay, maybe not the best choice, but it could have been worse. The Bajoran religion is a key cultural keystone.
We will not be slaves!
One of the worst side effects of the occupation was the loss of faith among Bajorans. We have followed the teachings of the prophets for thousands of years. During the Cardassian rule, however, our religious leaders were executed and our monasteries were closed. The atrocities that we experienced made it difficult for anyone to believe in the prophets. What's even worse is that the emissary allowed the path to the Celestial Temple to be closed during the Dominion War. People turned to the Pa-Wraiths in an effort to have their prayers answered. This one's easy. They never abandoned Bajor. They speak and they listen. You may be right, Admiral. I never thought of it that way. Yeah, I get 1 diplomacy XP. Whee! Okay, how about this? The government is stable. They don't need us to tell them what to do.
Bajor for Bajorans!
The Cardassians were able to pit Bajoran against Bajoran by starving us and depriving us of our basic rights. Any small comfort they allowed us as a reward for being their puppets was treated like we'd won a lottery. Neighbor turned against neighbor, and brothers reported on their families. In the end, many people were labeled as collaborators, and all they tried to do was fill their children's empty bellies. The Bajoran people were put in a terrible position. Some were forced to make difficult choices. There is no shame in that. You may be right, Admiral. I never thought of it that way. Another diplomacy XP! Whee! Given how much it takes to advance the diplomacy rank, that's really piddling. Okay, well how about this? Bajor has a rich history, and its people have repeatedly fought for their rights.
We will not be slaves!
Yes, yes, yes. The Bajoran people have been fighting a war for so long we no longer know how to live in peace. The Federation rules us now. They may be kinder than the Cardassians, but they are still occupiers. Look at our history since the occupation. The Circle, the Khon Ma, the Maquis, thousands of our young people joining Starfleet to fight the Dominion and the Empire. Our only art now is violence. Well, you know, if you feel remorse for the violence of Bajor's past, then you have not changed as much as you think. You may be right. I never thought of it that way. You know, I'm beginning to get the impression that the first option is the way to go for a lot of these. Look, we appreciate your willingness to share the city with us while we coordinate our campaign against the Gemini.
This is our home!
Many Bajorans were displaced during the occupation. Thousands died in labor camps far from their homes. And even if you weren't forced into the camps, life was uncertain. Do you know that when Gul Perak commanded the weapons depot here during the occupation, he executed 15 farmers simply for not displaying the Cardassian banner outside their homes? We're already seeing this here. Starfleet and the KDF are taking over this section of the city. Soon, Bajorans will be pushed out of their businesses and homes to make more room for soldiers. We're grateful for the space Bajor has lent to us. All the improvements we're making will be left as a token of our appreciation. Well, how about that? Looks like it wasn't always the first option. You may be right, I never thought of it that way. Many of our facilities, including our sickbay and holodecks, are available for use by any Bajoran.
Bajor for Bajorans!
Land wasn't the only thing Cardassians took from us. They treated us like animals. Thousands lost their lives in medical experiments or were permanently injured through malnutrition and neglect. The Cardassians didn't care if we lived or died. The only thing that mattered was that healthy Bajorans could process more ore. Our doctors have sworn an oath to do no harm to their patients. They will help anyone who wants to make use of their services. You may be right. Look, Bajor is a beautiful world. We have no wish to harm it.
We will not be slaves!
The Cardassian occupation took everything from Bajor. Our resources were stripped away with no regard for allowing them to replenish for future generations. This planet is nothing but a shell of what once was. Well, with careful planning, we can prevent further damage to Bajor and even reverse some of the long-lasting effects of the occupation. And finally, we don't want to leave a mark on Bajor. When we leave, we will leave your city as we found it. Now, technically speaking, we'll be leaving those improvements behind.
This is our home!
Bajor was scarred by the Cardassians who stripped away her bounty. But what was worse was their complete lack of consideration for the environment. The soil, air, and water had been poisoned. Entire species of flora and fauna had been wiped out or irrevocably damaged. New pests with no natural predators were introduced, and now they're overwhelming native populations. Time heals all wounds, give it another century. I don't think so. We can work together to right many of these wrongs. It will take time, but anything is possible. Alright, so if nothing else, we've gotten him thinking in a slightly different way. Maybe thinking of other possibilities. Although I still hear him screaming, "We will not be slaves," as we head out, so... How much of it actually took remains to be seen. That's what the Colonel... see what the Colonel has to say. See, there's another player right there. Someone other than me is doing stuff here. I heard what you had to say to some of those protesters. Excellent work. I think people will start seeing things your way. Bajor needs our help. Now, Soul Saver is a perfectly reasonable one to pick. But the more fun option is petition the prophets. The Vedic Assembly has agreed to allow you to access the Orb of Prophecy and Change. This is a great honor, but it is also a great responsibility. Many people want to know why the prophets didn't intervene to stop the Jem'Hadar from attacking Deep Space Nine. I know the prophets would never abandon us. They must have a reason for why they didn't act. It is up to you to carry their message back to us. That's what you might have had more to say. Nope, that was it. This is not the first time that I've seen the Orb of Prophecy change. In fact, I kind of brought it back to Bajor. In fact, now that I think about it, I brought it back twice to Bajor. Both here and at the Mirror Universe. So this is not the first time I've had to experience the Orb. Will it speak again? We'll find out. Open it up and see what it has to say, if anything. Why the prophets seem fit to return the Jem'Hadar fleet this time and place. That probably requires explanation.
You are not grateful. We saved Bajor at the Cisco's insistence. It cost him dearly.
We moved the fleet, but we needed to put it back.
A hand that remains closed
ceases to be a hand.
The fleet needs to exist, as you must return.
Now, for those who haven't figured it out by now, this fleet is not a new Dominion fleet. This fleet is the fleet that was literally trapped in the wormhole at the end of the big Retake DS9 arc after the Dominion had captured it and occupied it at the beginning of the Dominion War. The Prophets made the entire fleet disappear so that a huge horde of invading Dominion ships did not immediately overwhelm the Alpha Quadrant. And now the Prophets have decided it was time to put them back. Great. But I'm pretty sure there was no mention previously in this arc that this was that fleet, so, you know. Again, just one of those situations where I feel a writing pass would be needed, and one that I'm relatively sure will never happen. Well, let's bring the bad news in, shall we? You should feel blessed. The Prophets don't speak to everyone. I have faith in their plan for Bajor. You are an important part of that plan. I'm thrilled.
Peace and quiet.
Now I
That's
need to
what we
go to
need.
Commander-in-Chief to need my help with communications, report to her, and she'll give the details. Still gotta walk all the way around buildings. You know, I think my character would actually appreciate being here. I mean, it kind of gives you the kind of feeling of what Virenat might have wound up as if it had the time to grow, to be. Maybe not with the religious overtones, obviously, but it would have its own similar feel. Where's Captain Kurland?
Give me a sit rep.
Kurland is running things from his end on board the Defiant. They're in orbit of Bajor now, but ready to move to the Gamma Quadrant or back to DS9 if the situation changes. With the loss of Commander Andrews, Starfleet knew Captain Kurland would need some assistance here. And I'm used to a little chaos. My last posting was coordinating refugee transports out of Ada Eridani. I'll handle things here on the ground, and he can coordinate the counterattack.
I have new orders for you.
Yeah, I was just curious. Anything else I need doing? We've managed to set up a subspace relay outside the courtyard. I need you to try to pick up any transmissions coming from Deep Space Nine. We need intel. Anything we can learn about the state of things on the station will help. So, Subspace Spyworks. Which we've already
I have new orders
gone
for
through
you.
the dialogue for, so I'm not repeating it. And here they are. It's not exactly what you would call a robust system. Let's start scanning frequencies. Static. And what we're going to do is we're going to lower the scan frequency. Oops, hold on, what was that? Signal detected. Accessing ops. Do you want to proceed? Okay, maybe. Oops. Initiating communications, not so good. Zamatar is still in charge. Okay, hang up. I'm a crank caller. Actually, I guess that kind of is right. I am a crank caller. Okay, let's lower the frequency. 290. Oh, another signal. Let's find out what we've got. Dabo with Lita. Do you want to proceed? Well, you never know.
Davo!
Okay, that got us nothing. Can't go any lower, so time to increase. We've already hit that one. And I thought we hit that one. Let's double check. No, I guess not. Replicator Network 47. Would you like iced frappuccino or hot? Sweet or with cream? Please specify your preferences before replicating and remember to recycle your mug. Okay, now I gotta change the band. We're previously at megahertz, now we're gonna go to gigahertz. I know I couldn't help that. Lower frequency. Accessing Niners. Do you want to proceed? Okay. Welcome to Niners Sweets and Treats remote ordering system. Would you like to order a Jumja stick delivery? Okay, that was worth a shot. I honestly thought it was going to be involving baseball. I'm pretty sure the DS9 team was the Niners. Private Network 5492. Well, this is promising. Well, a Ferengi. A living Ferengi. Hey, who is this? How did you find this channel? Don't terminate this. I'm a friend. Oh, wait, I know you. I recognize you from earlier. You were trying to help that Deferi ambassador get a holosuite appointment. I like your style. I'm surprised they didn't replace this with Quark. I'm Hadron, the bartender at Quark's. This is my alternative subspace communication channel. I use it for business matters. Legitimate, legal business. Sometimes I don't want Kurland and company listening in on my dealings, but that doesn't make them any less legitimate. Can you tell me anything about the Jemadar in the station? They're terrible for business. There are a lot of them. They're mean. They don't eat or drink, and they brought Ketrasil White with them. The Vorta with them have been in once or twice. Always orders tulip berries, never talks, and never pays. My profits are going down the drain. Hey, you are planning on coming back, right? Bring the fleet back to kick these guys out? I need actual paying customers. I'll even give a discount on all drinks for the first hour after the station is reclaimed. Top shelf drinks are excluded, of course. Yep, that's Frankie, alright. We're taking DS9 back, but we need your help. Oh, right! The Jemadar Alpha is named Karukan. Now see, this is how we find out he's named. I have no idea where they pulled his name out of the hat before we started this mission. Text pass, text pass, text pass. Sorry, I'm ranting. He's a real rough customer. The biggest and meanest one of them all. He's got a Vorta with him. Her name is Loris. She's tough, but she hasn't gone out of her way to make our lives miserable. She's allowing those of us who didn't evacuate to stay, but only if we toe the line and don't give the Jemadar any trouble. Honestly, how's a businessman supposed to make a living like this? The weird part is, they think the Dominion War is still going on. I heard Loris and Karukan talking. They expected an entire Dominion fleet to be here waiting for them and a changeling to be in charge. It's crazy. They've been hauling people in for questioning, and teams of Jemadar have been tearing the station apart, looking for this captive changeling. What happened to these guys? They get stuck in a black hole for 30 years? Thanks for your help. We'll return as soon as possible. You need to hold on for just a little while longer. So now we have all the pieces officially in place. These are definitely the guys stuck in the wormhole from the past. That's an interesting development. I'll keep in touch with Hadron. Maybe he can get us more information.
I had new orders for you.
I managed to contact someone. The Dominion are looking for a founder. Do they think the war is still going on? We need to clear up this confusion pronto. Maybe they'll be willing to leave the station peacefully if we convince them that the war has been over for decades. I think we're ready to contact DS9 and try to talk to the leaders of the fleet. I want you to be our contact. Kurland will link in and assist you during the negotiations. So it's out of here and to communications, which is North Building. Run. Oh, can't do that. Don't want the DMCA to get after me. Alright. Let's contact Deep Space Nine. Hail DS9, then let me do the talking. I know you can handle this alone, but this is my station. It's my responsibility to try to get it back. I understand. Hailing Deep Space Nine on an encrypted channel. Putting it on screen now.
Who is this? What do you want?
Let's not be so hasty, Karukan. They obviously went to a great deal of trouble to contact us. I am Loris of the Dominion, temporary governor of Deep Space Nine. How can I help you?
Promising start.
Thank you for agreeing to talk, Loris. I am Captain James Kurland of the Federation Space Station Deep Space Nine. It is my hope that we can find a peaceful resolution to this conflict.
Of course, Captain. You want your station back. But this is a war, and your station is my prize.
Sounds like a
I know
villain,
this
doesn't
will
she?
be hard for you to accept, but there is no war. It's been over for decades. Your fleet was diverted when you attempted to pass through the wormhole. The prophets... There is a great deal we have to explain, but please understand, we are not your enemies.
I am not a fool, Captain. We have reviewed the records in DS9's databanks. Why should I believe this fantasy of prophets and time travel? Show me proof that what you say is true.
No, I've always thought that was a logical hole there. If he's been through all the records and all that, does he really think that we advanced the clocks 30 years just for giggles when he was coming in? Seriously? Loris, I've asked Admiral Tallel of the RRW Development to join us today. Could you please step in here? Our esteemed Vorto would like some proof to back up our position. Now this is where it gets really fun, because honestly, all of this can be faked. I show video records, fake. Review current state of wormhole theory. I'm pretty sure that's going to go over her head. The details of the Treaty of Bajor. Oh, that's going to go over well. I see no option here that's going to really work out. But we'll try the Treaty of Bajor and see how that goes. The Dominion signed a treaty with the Allied forces of the Alpha Quadrant that ended the war you are continuing to fight. Perhaps if you examine the agreement more closely, you would see how and why the war ended, and be more comfortable following the treaty's provisions.
The treaty that ended the Dominion War was signed by representatives from the Allied forces and the Dominion on Deep Space Nine. This treaty established the end of the occupation of Cardassian space by the Dominion and the Breen. In addition, the Dominion agreed to immediately withdraw all ships and personnel to the Gamma Quadrant.
Although they obviously missed a few.
You have a document, Captain. I have a fleet. And control of your station. I haven't heard anything yet that would persuade me to surrender DS9.
I wish I could say this shocked me. How do you think we should assuage I should know the pronunciation of this by then. Loris's feelings of doubt. Yeah, well, discussing the repercussions, I think, are not going to work. Show that a founder was involved in crafting the treaty. If anything is going to work, and I don't think it will, this would be it. The treaty was crafted and signed by a founder. If you are loyal to the founders, you should adhere to it.
If one of the gods was involved in the creation of this treaty, then I would be compelled to honor it.
But...
However, I do not see this founder. Where are they? If you truly had the founder's support, one would be standing at your side.
That's a good question. It seems to have left us at an impasse. Anything we could do to convince you to leave peacefully?
Enough! I will consider
no.
your arguments carefully, but you must understand that I am under orders as well. The founders gave me specific instructions before I left the Gamma Quadrant. I accept that may have been many years ago. Nevertheless, mere time cannot countermand the commands of the gods.
That's an improvement at least.
We are attempting to contact the Dominion in the Gamma Quadrant. As of yet, we have been unsuccessful. Until I speak to a founder and receive new orders, we will remain here. Deep Space Nine belongs to the Dominion.
Dun, dun, dun. Thank you for all of your assistance. Now that we know more about the current situation on DS9, we can decide how best to take a tactical advantage. There's only one end to this scenario, Admiral. We retake DS9. There is no other acceptable alternative. So, let's look at our rewards. I'm going to grab those shroud generators, because like I said, the armor set doesn't work for me. And I'm not looking, I really don't think I'm going to get anything better from our career-specific awards. Well, Mark 11, I'd want to be better than Mark 11. So, we'll collect that reward. We are at the 10 p.m. Eastern hour, which means we are at the end of tonight's stream. Next week, we will begin Operation Gamma. I wonder where we could be going for that mission. Yes, we're going to the Gamma Quadrant. Doesn't that kind of sound obvious? Need to find a founder and see if they can convince Loris to go home. Or at the very least, get out. Also, on Saturday, if you are interested in seeing Star Citizen, I stream that game from 1 p.m. Eastern to 3 p.m. Eastern. We are in the middle of a free flight week. Well, free flight 2 weeks, because we have the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo going on, where players, or even anybody who has an interest, who has a computer that can run it, can play for free. Not even needing a package. That's a big deal. And if you're interested in seeing what the hype was all about, or you want to, see how much bugs it might actually still have, which is a lot, it'll be a good time to come in and play, or you can just watch my stream and watch me fiddle around with whatever ships are available to fly on Saturday. Otherwise, I'll be here again next week, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern to 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern. I hope that if you're in the States, I hope that you and yours have a happy Thanksgiving. This is Korath Landwalker, signing off.